everybody, recording for real this time because we just did our first podcast ever, me and Kevin, here at the Two Dudes Cinematic Universe, and it lasted 4 seconds. So that was pretty memorable and magical, but we're old pros now. We got it figured out, and we're ready to get going here. Guys, this is the Two Dudes Cinematic Universe is the name of our show. 2DCU for short, of course. This is our co-host here, Kevin Stepanian. Kevin, how are you?
I'm doing so well, JD. So nice to be here. This is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, we're pumped, man. We wanted to do this for a while. We've talked about this for a while.
Like years. We first talked about this sophomore year of college.
Well, we thought, how do we make our parents proud? And the answer was start a podcast about movies. Nobody's doing that.
Exactly.
We're changing the game.
Of course. And, up to that point, neither of our parents had been proud of us, so we were kind of looking for things.
Sure.
And we stumbled upon this, and I'm really glad we did.
We stumbled upon this, and boy, are they. So, yeah, we're doing this show is going to be all about, movies, TV shows, just kind of what's going on, video games, pretty much nerd culture. Neither of us are film critics, degrees or anything like that. But that doesn't mean we're not super, super smart about all that. We know pretty much everything there is to know about that world, right, Kevin?
Yeah, there's 4 vocab words. Stage left actually means right, and
right.
That's really
well. You took a screenwriting class at one point.
Technically, I'm 3 credit hours away from a minor.
You are okay. So
yeah,
Kevin will be our actual on-air knows the business guy. So. I'm just some guy who has a Netflix and HBO account through their parents. So
you're the talent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just a little bit about us. I'm JD Davis, by the way. I don't even know if I said that yet. Me and Kevin have been friends probably for 4 years now. We were college roommates for a year. We've known each other since freshman year. We went to the Ohio State University, as you can see by Kevin's shirt there. Kevin was smart and graduated on time, like a good kid, and I graduated literally yesterday. So there's that. So we're both official. Yep. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so this is just going to be a weekly show. As of right now, we're thinking Tuesdays to come out. We're just going to talk about the news of the week, and then we're going to really deep dive into one movie review. We're not sure entirely yet, but it will probably be something relevant, something that's come out. And if it's a dead time, we're also going to do series. We'll probably do the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We'll probably do Star Wars at some point. The big ones. Harry Potter, I don't know if you've heard of that. It's kind of a small indie film, but we'll probably do those. So, Kevin, how excited are you to start this 2DCU journey?
Oh my God, dude, this is so great. We have no idea what this is going to look like. We have none. No. This could be completely
most likely
different.
2 rambling madmen that 20 people listen to. But hey, if you're one of those 20, we will love you and support you. So
that's right.
Just a kind of an icebreaker here, Kev, just so people can kind of get a vibe of your movie, TV likes, dislikes, video games. How about you give us, we'll go back and forth, but we'll start with movie. What's your favorite movie of all time? And it doesn't even need to be best or whatever. It's your personal liking. So this will also always start some controversy right off the bat because you're obviously stupid idiot no matter what you pick because it's not mine.
It's not yours. Yeah. God. So I've been asked this a bunch over my life, and I feel like my answer is kind of a cop-out. It's the pop culture jack off movie of the millennia, and that's Pulp Fiction. Love that movie. It's almost 3 hours of just Quentin Tarantino madness. It's great. But my personal favorite is probably the 3rd Lord of the Rings movies, just because I grew up with them for so long, and they've just been such a big part of my life. But yeah,
Pulp Fiction, very cliche, but I'm here for it because my answer is also super cliche. Yours is more pop culture cliche. Mine is going to be comic book nerd cliche. It is The Dark Knight. I know I'm that guy, but I freaking love that movie. I could go on rants and rants and rants about how that movie changed the comic book world and this and that. And Christopher Nolan, a real director, comic book movies getting real director. set the path for Marvel, all that. I could do that, and I probably will at some point. I'm sure. I'm almost guaranteeing Dark Knight Trilogy will be an in review. We do for sure. We will review Dark Knight Trilogy at some point.
Good news, JD. Since you like Dark Knight, I do have a small look ahead into the next hour or so. I do have an entire character in the synopsis later, just titled Schizo from Dark Knight.
And for those, I don't think we said it yet. We will be reviewing The Suicide Squad, not Suicide Squad. Like Ohio State makes a big difference. So that we'll be diving into that. That's also in some of our news headlines. So we'll really be getting into that. But something tells me if you're watching this podcast and you know the connection between Dark Knight and Suicide Squad character, you know exactly who we're talking about. So we'll dive into that. That's probably my favorite, just hands down. I know it's basic, but it's so good. Kevin, it's so good.
Yeah. Best acting performance possibly of all time in Heath Ledger. I mean, Chris Nolan's take on The Dark Knight is just
the script, everything. I mean, this is why we're different, Kevin, because we're saying what the real critics won't, and that Dark Knight is a good movie. This is what the other podcasts aren't saying. They're saying, that Dark Knight, no thanks. Give me Batman and Robin. That's what they're saying.
God, die on the hill. I'm so very proud of you.
I'll do it, though. I'll do it. I mean, it's my cross.
Someone has to.
So, all right, let's go into TV shows, Kevin. What's your favorite TV show of all time? I think we might even have the same answer. I hope not for
we do.
Variety's sake.
I mean, throw all the Game of Thrones action, epics you want at me. Throw the incredible episode-to-episode series in The Sopranos or The Wire at me. Do whatever you have to, but God damn it, at the end of the day, the best show ever made is Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Wow. Okay, so we don't have the same answer, but I'm shocked. No, we don't. And I actually didn't think of Sunny, but excellent answer. My favorite probably comedy of all time. Me and Kevin, if you could explain our relationship with a kind of form of media, TV, movie, anything, it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah. Just maybe we've probably seen every episode like 5 to 10 times.
I was going to say upwards of 6 or 7. Yeah.
Yeah. And the good ones, honestly, too many. That show might be part of the reason that I graduated a full year after you, single-handedly. That show, I mean, good God. We don't got to go. If you haven't watched Sunny, what are you doing, first of all? Second
You're
of all,
one of 10 people that haven't. Yeah, the show's on for 15 years for a reason.
I've gotten all my friends, like the friends who weren't watching it when I started watching it, all of them are on board. If you don't like that show, then I don't know what to tell you. You should probably go get your heart looked at, because you don't have a heart, or you don't have a funny bone. Maybe not a heart. I don't know. Maybe that's not the right. Either way, I will say my favorite TV show of all time is Breaking Bad. Yeah, I absolutely love Breaking Bad. I know you do too. We've watched it together once. I watched that show probably 2 or 3 seasons, probably 3 of the seasons on Netflix, and then the last 2 live. And I've probably seen that show 3 to 4 times full through. It's just great. It's honestly, because we're deep people, Kevin. We can get some depth. We can get some depth in this show. Sure. It is one of the first shows I watched, because it was kind of when was that show out? Were we in high school, like early high school?
Yeah, we were in high school. I think. This was like
me and Kevin are the same age.
That's true.
Well, he's quite a bit older than me, but technically same age. But
look it up.
That show was one of the first ones where I'm like, I realized why I love certain shows, and it's the character development, it's the character interaction. In our next segment, What You Watching, I'm rewatching another show that I'll get into, but it reminds me of that, and the fact that the way these characters talk to each other, and the kind of the development of each character and different things like that. It's one of the things you need for a good show. It sounds simple, but it's good characters, good show, good movie, good anything. I don't care what script you have. If the characters aren't fun together, if there's not drama or this and that, that show had it all. Vince Gilligan, great director. Better Call Saul, pretty good. Shout out Bob Odenkirk. Hope he's doing well, of course. Sounds like he's doing better, but yeah, that's probably and we're gonna talk about all this stuff at some point, man. There's only there's not like a lot of TV shows out there, Kevin. So we'll only talk about like the 5, that people watch.
The big 5, as they call it.
The big 5, yeah. Which Breaking Bad is on that. So how about video game, Kevin? And I kind of gave you I told you we were going to do this like right before the show. So Kevin really didn't have time to come up with this. I've been mulling over this for weeks and weeks. We were going to probably drop this like weeks ago, but I had to think about, my favorite of these 3 topics. So go ahead, Kev. What's your favorite video game if you have one?
My favorite video game of all time is probably Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Okay. All right.
Freaking love that game.
Never played it.
I think it is the most I've ever spent in engine in any video game ever. I think at one point I was like top 150 in the world in ranked multiplayer. I was and I was like a little kid too when this game came out.
Yeah,
I was balling with the big boys
ago.
at the time. Yeah,
right.
And so,
why all the cool kids were out there playing sports, Kevin,
idiots.
Kevin was mastering Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Yeah,
I know you have played it as well. I've been really into Odyssey. I have spent some of the most time I've ever spent in a video game. And that's not my answer, but I'm just saying like the Assassin's Creed games, if you get the right one, and everyone's tastes a little different because I've played a couple where I'm like, but if you get the right one, you can really dive into those worlds. And Odyssey, I thought was the first one like that since probably Black Flag for me.
Yeah.
I have not played the new one, but I've heard not as good as Odyssey. And then I'm like, well, I'm not done with Odyssey. And
it's such a big game.
No, I'm not done with
it.
I'm not done with it, but I really do want to finish it at some honest to God. I just brought it up, but I started playing it again for the first time in months and months last week. And I was like, wow, this is kind of fun to jump back into. And you got to have 4 hours to dump into it. Like, it's not fun to play in half an hour increments. You got to dive into the world.
You always forget the controls for the first 15 minutes of the game.
Yes.
And so you have to relearn everything.
You're like running through the forest and some wolf's attacking you. And you're like, I forget how to stab him.
Yeah. There's a quick button to do heals, but I just keep,
Right. So yeah, the Assassin's Creed games are great. Brotherhood though is interesting. I've not heard that as a lot of people being their favorite. But it sounds like it was a little more of like just perfect timing for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it came out in the right time. And it was the first one that actually I think ever had multiplayer in it at all. It had some really creative game modes and stuff like Wanted and Manhunt and stuff that totally revolutionized that whole segment of multiplayer. So yeah, loved it. Great timing. Thank you, Ubisoft, for your continuous game support.
Didn't Ubisoft and 3 other... Was Ubisoft in? Didn't a bunch of games just get or gaming companies just get bought? I feel like we should know this, but maybe that's something. Maybe that's something we talk about next week because I'm not entirely sure about that. But I feel like some of the big ones kind of merge or there was something talks. There's talks. I don't know. There's always
what
talks,
Ubisoft did sponsored Mythic Quest. They are a producer on that show. Yeah,
great show. Always Sunny connection there, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. My favorite video game ever, thank you for asking, is the 2018 God of War. It's not really a remake, I guess. I've never played any of the other God of War games. They didn't look like my, up my alley really, because they're just kind of slasher, button masher. That's at least the vibe I got, and I think that's what most people would tell you. But this one, man, I'm probably in that genre that some, hardcore, I guess, gamers would make fun of, but they call it like a movie video game or a cinematic video. I love that shit, man. I love that. I've loved the Last of Us games for that same reason. They're up there for me. Ghost of Tsushima recently. I've loved that game. But what takes the cake is, for me, God of War 2018. Just a great story. And I guess what I love about video games is kind of getting lost in that world, I guess, kind of similar to your Brotherhood answer. And I was just it felt like you were going on a little journey. And I guess the way I would put it, it's the same feeling I have when watching the Lord of the Rings movies. You're just kind of you feel like you're along for the ride, and it's like a journey, and you're not rushing it, and you're not watching it to like, or playing it even for like the big action moments all the time. And there are in that game. I mean, some of the really cool cutscenes, some really cool, one of the best like boss fights ever in that game, fighting oh gosh, it's like the super powered dude who can't die at the beginning. I couldn't tell you. It's been about a year or so since I played that, but I played it twice. I love that game. God of War Ragnarok, cannot freaking wait. Same people are doing it. I think they nailed what they're trying to do there. But enough rambling about our favorite stuff, just to kind of give you guys a taste of, you know, what our taste is. Obviously this is our first show, so who knows out there who's actually watching, but I hope you guys watch, and I hope at one point maybe you find us a couple episodes later and you come back and watch this stuff. Obviously, we're going to be posting on YouTube. We're going to be available. I don't even think I mentioned all this. See, rookie. I'm a rookie, man. I haven't done this before.
It's only your second podcast.
It's only my second one. My first one was 4 seconds, and boy, did we nail that 4 seconds. But yeah, go ahead and, you know, obviously subscribe to 2DCU. We're going to be available on all sorts of different podcast networks and our YouTube page. And then, of course, like when we're talking about stuff like this, like obviously sound off in the comments about what your favorite stuff is. And I'd like to have like a conversation with people about that stuff. That'd be a lot of fun. So I don't know how many comments we'll get on the first one, but hopefully it grows and hopefully people come back to it and we get the notifications, man. We'll find them.
Oh my God. We'll find the time. Yeah.
So Kevin, just kind of a segment we are going to, you know, do on this show is called What You Watching. And it's just, what are you watching this week? So it's really that simple. It's simple in the fact that like, what are you watching? What are you playing? It's just, you know, it's an idea to talk about kind of like the, what's going on TV wise, movie wise, whatever. So Kevin, what you watching?
So I recently got turned on to a HBO series that apparently was not very popular when it was on. It's called The Leftovers, and it is freaking awesome. I don't know how
you watch it.
Yeah, we do.
We share an HBO, so I'm like, well, I'm not watching that, so it must be Kevin.
Yeah, it is an awesome series with just a small, tiny, insignificant plot. Basically, you just wake up one day, just out of nowhere, 2% of the Earth's population it disappears, and you just see the ripples in this show. Very interesting.
People notice 2% of the population?
Very interesting show. Like cults come out of the woodworks, the whole crumblings of lifestyle. It's awesome.
How long is this show active? Like, is it still going on? I don't even know.
HBO, I think it was originally
the name sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was originally a book that HBO made a series off of, and like I said, it was not very popular when it first came on, and so HBO I think pushed it for 2 more seasons, and they put a bow on it at the end of season 3. But that's why I'm so excited to see it, because I can just do it in a couple weeks. But very high.
Might have to check that one out. I imagine it's like a drama. It's HBO. It's probably like 50-minute-ish episodes, or.
Yeah, exactly. It's I think no more than 15 a season or something, and it's an hour each. So yeah, no, definitely manageable. Highly recommend The Leftovers on HBO.
So I would imagine viewers, some I'm sure have seen it. I have not. Is it like this is just like a fun comfort thing to watch, or is the plot like exhilarating where it's like, I gotta watch the next episode, or is it just solid good TV that you just kind of have on? I guess how do you watch it? I guess
it's thicker than you might think. It's not just like sit down TV,
like an episode at a time kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the main character is the sheriff of this town, and it's not just like an episode or a monster of the week, like solve this problem, go to the next episode thing. It's a continuous thing. You have like elements that you don't know what they're going to develop into, and you have these underlying characters that have motives. You have no idea what it's about. And above all, you still don't know why the fuck people just disappeared in the middle of the day. So
yeah, that would be my question.
Yeah.
If I lived in this world. Yeah, no, I'd be like, well, like that neighbor's just gone.
Just gone.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the hard hitting questions that hopefully will get answered in your show, Kev. I might have to check it out. I know one show we're both watching.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be
it's arguably the best show on television. Ted Lasso. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. MF Lasso.
It is that show. I mean, I will say, so I'm one of the only people I know who might be able to say this. I only watched one episode, or the first two were out when I checked it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I had after that, I was a weekly watcher. So I in theory, I missed one week of being like, to say like I watched it from the start. And I don't know, I had to get a lot of people. I told people, you got to check this out. It's funny. It's not just funny though. Like, I think this is kind of the brand of show that is starting to work on these streaming services, because we don't have to just have mindless cable garbage anymore.
Right.
It's funny. It's so clever written. Kind of reminds me of Community, and some of just the like zing zangs back, like just like the writing, how clever it is. Now, obviously not like Community in a lot of ways. That's not really a great comparison, but just the writing a little bit. And it has so much like heart, man. Like there's parts of that show where it's like, am I
on Richmond? Am I playing for Richmond?
Right.
Oh my God. Being in that locker room, being a part of that team every single week is just fun. They know what it is.
I mean, that's really the best way to put it. It's just fun. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
It's like therapy for the soul. And
it comes out on Fridays,
Jason Sudeikis. Oh. Stop it, man. Where has this guy been? No, I've always loved Jason Sudeikis, but this is definitely very different than kind of his more raunchy comedy, We're the Millers stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think actually there's a whole thing. I think he went through a breakup or a divorce or something big, and he kind of like 180'd his life a little bit. So like, it's almost like, not that he is Ted Lasso, but I think he is trying to embody just like good, positive things.
Yeah.
But to quote my mom, who I got my mom into this. I mean, my parents are hard. It's hard to watch TV generationally. It's hard to watch TV with people older than you like that. But to quote my mom, after, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of the episode. It's in the first season. There's something happens. I don't know. It's one of the more heartwarming. Oh, I think it's this. Might it be when the divorce papers come, or it's after the gala when he's like in tears. And he ends up just playing, pass with that girl that he met on the streets, and it's like, you know what I mean, kind of the little things moment. But either way, that's not important. To quote my mom, she's sitting there bawling, and she goes, "Am I crying over the stupid soccer show?" So that's the stupid soccer show will make you cry. And note that you don't have to like soccer. You don't even have to know how soccer works to enjoy the show. They explain it pretty easily. Yeah, kickballs and nets. Kevin could teach you a thing or two about soccer. He's our soccer guy here. But yeah, Ted Lasso, freaking amazing. We'll keep going though. Not spend too much time on Ted Lasso. Throughout the weeks, though, when we will do What You Watching, I imagine we'll have a little bit of spoiler stuff for Ted Lasso at some points.
Have to.
Anytime there are spoilers, by the way, you will get our spoiler warning, and you can skip ahead in the video to where you no longer see the spoiler warning if you haven't seen said thing talked about. But then you can go back and watch it. That's the great thing about having the videos on YouTube. You can go back and watch the spoiler area, whatever. Another thing I've been watching, and it's been rewatching, and it was I kind of hinted at it with the Breaking Bad stuff. You've seen Succession, correct?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Rewatching that show, just getting ready for season 3, which the trailer came out.
Yeah.
I freaking love that show. That's top tier HBO. And let me tell you, Kevin,
it is.
There's nothing in this world that is better than top tier HBO content. Because good God, that show's good. And I didn't think it would be super entertaining to rewatch, because I remember the first season feeling a little slow in the beginning. Once you know the characters, and that's kind of the Breaking Bad comparison, was that once you know the characters and the dynamics of those characters, I watch that show as if it's a comedy. I laugh my ass off.
Oh, you have to. They are the worst. They're the worst human beings on that show.
In all the funniest ways to be the worst human beings.
Oh my God. Roman
it's kind of like Sunny in that way.
Oh,
they find the most entertaining ways to be the worst people on planet Earth. Roman.
OG.
My favorite dynamic easily is Tom and Greg the Egg. Oh my gosh. If you have not seen Succession, stop what you're doing, unless it's listening to us, of course. Finish this episode, then go watch Succession. When that show comes out, we're getting a feel for this thing, so we don't know quite what our structure will be. But I think that would be a fun segment, whatever weekly segment to do, like the talk about the episode that just came out.
What day of the week is it?
It hasn't come out. It's not out yet.
Do you know what day it has historically?
I would imagine Sunday. I think Sunday. Okay. That feels like a Sunday HBO show. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I'll look into that for next week. But that's like a show like I want to talk about episode to episode because it's freaking awesome.
Press conference, baby.
Anything else? What else? Obviously, we watched Suicide Squad. We'll get into that. That was something we watched. Any movies? Anything busy?
No, I want to see Green Knight. That looks pretty interesting. But I haven't actually seen. I've been just rewatching the MCU when I go to sleep, and that's been my whole existence. But that's nothing new. Yeah.
Easy to do.
Yeah.
That might be the two best words in you can hear from another human being. Hey, or maybe not. Hey, throw hey out there. MCU rewatch. I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Here's my arm, Kevin. Go ahead and twist that for me. Yeah, let's rewatch the MCU. That sounds horrid. I also started, and I this isn't even like a recommendation, it's just kind of something I dabbled with. Suicide Squad got me a little DC optimistic, I guess. I started the Superman and Lois show. CW. I don't know if you've heard. I've heard good things. It's a CW show. It's good in the way like The Flash was good for the CW. Yeah. I will say the budget is up. Like it looks really better than I thought it would. Like The Flash still looks silly in a lot of ways.
There's like, sort of Arrow. Yeah.
There's like fight scenes and stuff. Like it's a step above all those shows. Like you can tell it has a different budget than those shows. Yeah. Still a CW show. It's still cheesy as heck in a lot of ways, but good casting. I like the Superman guy. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he's good. The whole thing is it's Superman and Lois. They move back to Smallville, and they have two twin boys that it's like a weird Superman is like household like drama. Yeah. It's not. I don't know if it's for everyone. I like it, but I don't know. We'll see. It's not like super action packed anything like that, but. Just, throwing it in there as that is something I have been watching, and I don't want to lie to you.
I appreciate the honesty. Thank you.
All right, Kevin. So we just did What You Watching. Right now, we're going to go into just kind of some news from the week around the entertainment world. And that would be us, serious guys, doing serious news very seriously. The two dudes in the cinematic universe you've heard so much about. Kevin.
Yeah.
We love the Suicide Squad. We're going to get into that. That's not the question here.
No.
Suicide Squad has had a very underwhelming box office, and that could be obviously it being released on HBO. Yeah. I don't know how this stuff works. I'm not going to pretend to know how this stuff works. All I know is it's pretty bad. But like you released it on HBO.
Yeah, I don't know what else they could have possibly expected.
They have to be making money, right? Like the HBO release is like, I know people that got HBO for it.
Yeah, but someone in production's math just sucks. The revenue was going to be in the same spot it's always been and will continue to be. And if it's available in a much cheaper platform for however long or however many times you want to watch it, people are going to go to the cheaper option no matter what. Yep. I still haven't seen this movie in theaters.
I was just going to say, I have not seen this movie in theaters too, and I promised myself I would. Yeah. And I still might at some point. The problem was it was like, all right, it's Thursday. I don't want to not get on the internet for the weekend, there's spoilers everywhere, and it's just there. And even though I didn't want to, I'm like, I kind of feel like I have to. Like I couldn't help myself. It's there. No, yeah. And I had some friends that we were thinking about going to see a movie, but they end up having other plans. And after that, it's like, well, do I really want to spend the money to go on a Thursday night by myself to the movie theater, which for me, the good one is like 35, 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
I'm just going to watch it on HBO. And I think that's a lot of people. And usually they get the diehards at the box office. I obviously went for Black Widow, but that's a different story because you had to buy it on Disney Plus. But even with having to buy it on Disney Plus, that movie didn't do great in the box office for a Marvel movie. So you wonder, and I don't know how the math works out. I really don't. But you wonder if they jumped the gun a little bit, Warner Brothers, on just being like, we're just going to release everything on HBO Max.
Yeah. Weird decision. Not even a delay, for one of these things, even if they're like dipping their toe in, you would think they would start with, okay, you guys get it in 2 months outside of theaters.
Kevin, if they released it a week later, I would have forced my hand to go to the movie. Like, you know what I mean? They would have made at least the diehards go.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think that they even got the diehards. And that's sad because it's a really, really good movie and a really good step in the right direction for Suicides or for DC.
For DC, yeah.
Which we will get into, of course. But I just, it's a story. All this stuff. Obviously, Marvel hasn't nailed it either. I think the streaming platform stuff, they were hedging their bets, maybe a little too hard, a little too early. Yeah. But who knows, man? If anything we've learned is it's an unpredictable world, and who knows?
And Disney will make money no matter what.
Yeah, no. even Warner Brothers, like, I'm not overly worried about Warner Brothers, Somehow
I think they'll recover, but yeah.
Well, and a part of it is, they didn't just like give it to HBO. To do this deal, HBO had to write the fattest of checks that I don't even know if is public. So who knows? Maybe all in all, still making money. And the sad thing is, and Kevin, I don't know if you know this specifically, but hold on, let me find where I found this earlier. Oh yeah, the last Suicide Squad in the first weekend made almost like 160 million in the box office. This one made 24 million, and that just makes me upset. That just pisses me off because that hot piece of garbage made so much money, and this really fun, awesome, well directed, well written, well acted movie is not. And I don't think it's a big deal because I still think like knowing that people like it will help DC in the long run, obviously, and all that. Right. But I don't know. It was just kind of a bummer to see. And that stat specifically was like, I get why. Like, obviously, we all get why. The first Suicide Squad was supposed to be this culture shock, changing everything. And we all, ran to the movie theaters to see that the first weekend. So, like, I get why.
So disappointed.
But it just makes me mad. Also, we have little news. This has been happening kind of off and on, just going on to the streaming stuff. Disney and Scarlett Johannsen's lawsuit is getting a little bit out of hand. I don't know if you've really followed anything of this. It basically, short story, if you don't know, Scarlett Johansson's contract said you are not allowed to release my movie onto a streaming platform, and they did. And it did, and it hurt it. I don't think anyone's quite. It hurt it. It had a solid first weekend, but the worst second weekend for a Marvel movie, in any Marvel movie. And we're going back to like the first couple where they didn't have a following, made more money in the second weekend than Black Widow. So obviously it hurt it, and I think she has a right to be upset. And Disney has been looking awful in this scenario. I'll let you go off here in a second, but just kind of getting the story out there. Like, Disney then went and basically said, like, it's shameful what she's doing, and then basically released how much money they gave her, basically saying, like, see, she's rich. It's like, Disney, no one feels
you're
bad.
Bad guys,
right?
Yeah. You're still the bad guys.
Oh, she's the rich, annoying girl, but Disney, good guy Disney.
Yeah. No.
You can't talk about money, Disney. You're Disney. That's never going to come off sympathetic to your side. That's like, what are you doing? But Kevin Feige has come out in support even. So it's good to see Kevin Feige backing his talent.
Yes.
I think that's good for the Marvel universe going forward. Disney will survive. Marvel will survive. But it's an interesting story, and I think Disney looks like the bad guys.
I just don't know how it didn't get solved before this movie came out. You would think that would be a blatant don't stream it, or, give Scarlett Johansson whatever she freaking wants for the rest of time. Scarlett Johansson is one of the most talented actors that Marvel has, regardless of circumstance. And she's killed it in every movie she's ever been in for them. And the way that administrative people in the uppers of all of Disney, not just the Marvel branch, but all of Disney have handled this situation has just been embarrassing for the whole company.
Yeah, I agree. And it again, like anytime Disney wants to come off as like feel bad for us and then throw their talent under the bus by saying how much money they make.
Yep.
Stupid. Very stupid. Dumb. But this has been going on for weeks. So if you've kind of seen it, that's basically the rundown. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening there. I don't even know if what ends up happening there will ever be overly public. I imagine that'll be kept under loop. And just like that, a seamless headphone transition there, Kevin. Mine died in the middle because I thought first ever podcast. Why charge the old headphones? But we're back.
We're back.
That's all that matters. So just a quick, we went into Disney, Marvel, all that. We kind of covered that. Just a quick state of Marvel. It's kind of like the State of the Union here.
Great.
Did you like the shows? Did you like Black Widow? We can get through this, kind of quick because we probably got to get going here to our review. But just kind of let the fans know where we stand with Marvel, because obviously Marvel, DC, all the universe stuff. This is the 2DCU, so we're universe guys. What's your State of the Union on Marvel?
So mixed right now. I'm very anxious to see the next couple things in Stage 4. We got a couple very important movies coming up just for the scope of things that are going to come out, especially after the implications of Loki. So that's going to bring out a lot of doors here for us. We got Eternals. We got the Doctor Strange, the multiverse for Spider-Man. A lot of stuff coming out, a lot of speculation going around. All that seems promising. But in terms of State of the Union, what we've seen in the last 4 or 5 months, whenever WandaVision first came out, thought WandaVision was good.
Better than I expected.
Yeah, it was better than you expected. Not as good as I was hoping, I guess, beforehand. I going into it, I thought that was going to be my favorite show out of the. See,
I was kind of the opposite. I was not as interested in that.
Yeah,
but ended up liking it. That's probably expectations is a big part of this, right?
Definitely. Mine were pretty much hit in Falcon Winter Soldier because I didn't care about either of those characters and still don't. And then now that show's over. So, 6 weeks of meh from me, at least, on that front. And then Loki is top tier Marvel. Loki is one of the best things that Marvel's ever produced.
Oh, okay. You're very high on Loki then.
Put Tom, it's going to be awesome every fucking week from Tom Hiddleston. And yeah, just give me. Is it? What is it?
Hiddleston. You said
Hiddleston. What's the Stitch? Who's the Stitch? My thing? I don't know. Whatever.
There's a middle Titch. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the guy from Silicon Valley.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
He's not an MCU guy though.
No. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Hiddleston.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hiddleston.
Tom Middletitch is probably who you confuse with Tom.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Put him in everything. Just do it.
I agree. Great.
He's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Owen Wilson.
Very good. Yeah. We obviously we would like him and more. I think we agree on a lot of the stuff. I was pleasantly surprised with WandaVision because you talk about, like you said, characters you don't really care about. I didn't really care about them at all, and they made me care more than I thought. And I like that show overall. Exceeded my expectations. Just to run through them here. The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Man, I have heard so many mixed opinions on that. And we kind of have similar tastes. I am definitely on your side. I thought that was like not good. Like I'm just going to be honest. I didn't think it was good. And a lot of people are like, it's crazy. It's, cultural and this and that. It's like, I think it was like a shell of all that. Like it was trying to be so hard that it wasn't. Mm-hmm. And to me, it really comes down to, and a lot of this, I guess, was the pandemic. They had to rewrite. There was some problems. I get that, but those are the reasons it wasn't great for me. That's fine if those were the reasons, but it still wasn't great. And the big thing for me was the writing and the plot. The plot made no sense.
Bad guys were dumb.
Bad guys were dumb. I thought I'd like the buddy cop dynamic more than I did. I thought those guys had good chemistry in, some of the Captain America movies, and the whole thing just felt forced is the word I want to use for that. But we'll see going forward. And that's another thing too, is they kind of open doors I don't care about, which is also part of the State of the Union here. I think I'm a little wishy-washy, a little nervous for Marvel right now too. And Kevin Feige we trust, but yeah, like with the Agent Carter, I don't care about her at all. They're like, ooh, and here's this Easter egg. You can't wait to see this. Like most Marvel stuff, they leave you with something and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to see that. Like what happens with that? That's one of those. It's like, they never touch it. I'll be fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like I guess I'm semi-interested, like, you know, if, you know, so you're just going to show me, but I don't really need it to be a big plot point. Loki, I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought the best of the three. Sounds like the same as you. Now I don't know if I'd put it top tier Marvel. It was there for like 3 episodes where I thought it could be. Some of the best episodes easily out of those 3 shows, like in just individual episodes. I thought just better acting and better writing in that show. I thought WandaVision was pretty well written though, but yeah, Tom Hiddleston is awesome. I'm so glad they decided to bring him back as Loki, and I'm excited to see what he does in the future. He's going to be a kind of a big part of this next chapter here. And yeah, if you haven't seen Loki and living under a rock, spoiler warning, the multiverse is open. So yeah, we're going to get multiverse stuff. It's like, I've been excited for this, but now that it's here, I'm like, oh, I'm nervous. Like, don't mess it up. Like,
don't mess it up.
It feels like you could mess it up, doesn't it? And I almost don't know if they started off on the right foot. The last episode of Loki, I really liked. I thought was good. I liked the a lot of exposition, a lot of dialogue, whatever with Kang the Conqueror, which we met. That is that person, a variant of him. All that stuff could be really cool. So this is where I stand on the State of the Union aspect of Marvel. I think hardcore nerds like us, and probably if you're listening to this show, like you, are like, oh, I'm all in. Like, let's do the multiverse. Let's do whatever. I have multiple people that I watch it more casually that were like that last episode, like, what happened? I didn't like that last episode. I don't even think they understood that the multiverse opened there at the end. And so I think for the casual Marvel audience, they might start to lose some of those people the more extreme comic booky they get. But I also like the extreme comic booky. So as a nerd, selfish fan, I'm all in. But we'll see. But yeah, we'll go more and more into Marvel. We're going to probably, we're going to do our Marvel series at some point.
So yeah, just really quick. Just 2 quick things. I wanted to first give a shout out and a thank you to Jeff Bezos for next year's birthday present to me. On 9/2/22, which is September 2nd of next year. Oh God, I'm getting chills. It's gonna be a prequel show. It's gonna be epic, and it's gonna have the budget of Lord of the Rings plus Game of Thrones plus, and it's gonna
biggest budget ever, right? That's
biggest budget ever.
Storyline from this so far. We've seen a couple images.
It's gonna be great. It
better be.
I have high expectations, but I trust. There's so much.
There's too much money to not be good.
Yeah. And this has like the craziest fan base like ever. Like these are like nerds.
Which can be, you talk about like Star Wars stuff. Lord of the Rings have been united, and I think it's because they've gotten 3 really good movies and the Hobbit movies, and everyone's pretty much on the same page. Lord of the Rings movies, freaking awesome. Hobbit movies,
don't exist. I don't know what you're talking about.
And there's the problem with the Star Wars stuff is there's almost too much content, and now everyone's got a different opinion, and they've got. It makes you a little nervous that that united fan base. It's just it's anytime you pick up source material that is this like near and dear to people's hearts, you're gonna have people who are gonna be upset no matter what you do. But I hope they go at it with the idea of just writing a really good show in that world, and it looks awesome. Which
good fight scenes, and
it will
stick to the lore. You can't fuck up. You can't. You just can't.
Exactly. So yeah, very excited about that. Obviously, we got a release date for that, so quite a bit out, but that's going to be all the talk for months and months leading up to that.
Yeah, and then on a more somber note here, one of my all-time favorite comedians, the whitest kids you know's Trevor Moore has passed away this week at 41. It's very sad. He was, like I said, one of the funniest people I had ever heard growing up. The skits on YouTube I used to watch.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, well,
you're
doing yourself a disservice. Seriously, as soon as we're done, look up whitest kids you know. And
41. What happened? Do they know?
It just says accident and everything I've read, so I'm really not sure what the whole story is. But I just wanted to give everyone an opportunity that if you haven't heard of such a legend, such an awesome comedic legend, please do yourself a favor and laugh your ass off for hours and hours on the YouTube clips.
Now I might have to. It's an homage. Well,
yeah.
Sad here. We get serious, right? We're serious guys doing serious news. This was a serious topic. We nailed
very
it.
seriously.
Very seriously. So yeah, RIP there. We'll have to check that out. Let's go right into let's go right into the Suicide Squad. Yeah, so we watched it. We said earlier that we watched it both on HBO Max. We did not go to the theater, which this movie looked, sounded awesome, incredible at home. I'm sure it was an awesome theater experience. I do plan on seeing it in the theater before it is out of the theater. Just didn't get around to it and knew we were going to do this Monday, weekend plans, stuff like that. So just kind of watched what we could. I had seen it a couple times myself. I had watched it by myself, and then a friend wanted to watch it. So we watched it together. This movie is going to be incredibly rewatchable. I could tell just from my second viewing, but overall we'll do a little non-spoiler, just a couple minutes. People should go see this movie, right, Kevin?
People should go see this movie. Oh my God. It's been out for less than a week and I've seen it 2.5 times just out of like sheer will.
Just
I kind of want to watch it again, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
God.
I do know. This movie's awesome. Like we said, Suicide Squad, directed by and written by James Gunn.
Yep. Feels like it.
What a get. Yeah, what a get for DC. Again, Disney kind of stubbed their toe on that one. This worked out perfect for the fans, by the way, because Disney stubbed their toe. So we get him in DC. We're going to get him in future DC. No spoilers. We'll get into a little bit, but there's going to be a DC show with a character that might give some spoilers. So we'll just wait for that. That he is writing, not direct. He's going to direct a few episodes, I believe, of an HBO series. So an HBO budget coming up, and we get him to freaking direct Guardians 3 still. Like as a fan, like
it's a good day to be alive. Thank you, Disney.
Yeah, so it had a budget of $185 million. Big budget. Obviously, we talked about it a little earlier. Underwhelming box office so far. But with the HBO and with the remaining box office, you imagine it will be making money in some capacity, even if it's not like in your face box office numbers.
Yeah, it's in the contract. Something along the lines of, subs or there's some way of compensating them for being on HBO.
I haven't looked into it, but I'm sure the HBO numbers have been amazing. I don't know if they released those. They had to be amazing. Mm-hmm. It's James Gunn. James Gunn. This movie's fun. Go see it.
Yeah.
We're going to get into spoilers here in a second. It's a ton of fun. Great characters. Is it for everyone? I would say probably not. That might be the only thing about it. In a way where Guardians might have been a little more for everyone. This is kind of the best way you can describe it. It sounds lame, but the raunchy, R-rated, Guardians on crack in a way, in a perfect way for me. Like this movie was made for me. All the weird wackiness, the fun stuff in this movie.
It's an appropriate amount of crack cocaine. It's great. It's just chaos the entire time.
You cut out a little bit there, but I got your gist. Yeah, it's chaos. It's fun. Is it for, in a way, like you would go see Guardians with like your parents or this and that? Maybe not, depending if who you are. But it's funny. There are moments that will be funny to everyone. Now, like the ending and the bad guy and the this and that might not be for everyone. But I think if you love comic book movies, if you have any idea of who James Gunn is and what he does, and you like it, you're gonna love this movie.
This It's a James Gunn freaking movie.
If you don't have
Top to bottom.
if you don't have HBO Max, go see it. I want to go see it just to help the box office. It pisses me off that the box office is, not good. So I want to do my part. I'm going to do my part to, James Gunn, he doesn't have enough money. So I want to do my part to, go help him out. Excited to see he's doing more DC stuff in the future too. So with that being said, Kevin, if you want to lay into the plot, the way we're going to do this too, we're going to do a quick non-spoiler, and then we are going to go through this is more of like the plot synopsis, more detailed. That's kind of the way we're going to do it. We think it's fun that way, kind of relive the movie, and that way we can just kind of talk about the things we like. So yeah, if you're into that style, even if you think you're not, it's a ton of fun. I've seen other people kind of do similar things. I enjoy that style. But it's not going to be overly specific, but kind of broad, and we're just going to stop and talk about it when we want to talk about it. So with that being said, we officially have our spoiler warning. We are in spoiler zone. If you have not seen the movie, if you don't want to see the movie, if you don't want to see the movie, you just want to listen to us talk about it, fine. I'd say go see the movie. But if you have not seen the movie, pause, wait till the spoiler warnings were gone, skip to the end. Wait till you see the movie and then come back and listen to us, which you can do, obviously, through any kind of anywhere you get podcasts and, of course, on our YouTube page. So, Kevin, with that being said, the Suicide Squad, I believe we start with a song and an artist, kind of a not very well-known guy.
Close, JD. We start with the definition.
Oh.
Do you know what the word ornithophobia means?
No, I do not.
It is the fear of birds. And I think James Gunn has it.
Doesn't like birds. Not a bird guy.
Does not like birds at all in this movie. We'll get to it. It doesn't matter. All right, great. So yeah, I guess in the movie we start, with a very small local artist named Johnny Cash. And he is playing an awesome beat to Michael
SoundCloud.
That's right. Yeah. Give him some likes. He's really, really working out of a tin can here. But yeah, he's strumming on his guitar while Michael Rooker is bouncing a ball. And he's in prison, turns out, JD. He's bouncing a ball in prison. And this is apparently his yard time. When all of a sudden, this bird, this main antagonist of the movie, comes soaring down from the heavens and lands gracefully in his pen. Now, Michael Rooker is a kind guy. He's a reliable guy, but this is his yard time, JD. So what does he do? He annihilates. He destroys.
What a way to set the tone.
Oh my God. Just out of nowhere. 5 bounces with this ball and slaps this thing. Oh, great.
Yeah, kind of just showing off his, weird accuracy, power, whatever. And it's an introduction to, all right, these are not A-listers.
No. And this is not your typical comic book movie. It is not. This is going to be very, very different. Anyway, so Viola Davis does not care that he has 15 more minutes of yard time in. So he is abruptly taken away from said yard time to go start a mission, JD. She wants him in the Suicide Squad that he is now she's developing here. Basically,
I will say too, the one good thing the old Suicide Squad movie did for us is it explained the rules of the Suicide Squad. You're right into it. Hey, we're putting this chip in the back of your neck. It'll make you explode. It'll whatever. If you go, we're going to take time off your sentence. This is how this works. You're bad people making a team.
Yes.
Good. All right. You did one good thing, 2 good things, Margot Robbie, and you explained the definition of what we're doing here. So
yes,
good job, 2016 Suicide Squad.
So yeah, one mission is 10 years off your sentence. That's basically the rules here. Same as last time. Fun fact, I didn't know where else to add this, but my cousin Morgan Peterson was able to work with Viola Davis in a short series, The First Ladies, streaming sometime in 22, I think. So check that out.
We got a business insider. Kevin's in the business.
Yeah, that's great.
We nailed that earlier. He took the screenwriting class. He's got family. He's in the business.
That's right. Yeah, well versed in the biz. Anyway. They put the bomb in. You see him do the whole surgery thing, and then they send him to a building with the biggest American flag I have ever seen in a movie ever. I didn't think that it was just going to be a whole building. I thought that this was just the trailer shot of it just being a American flag backdrop.
They sell these flags, or the people that keep the giant flag market in business is apparently military outlets, like where this prison is or whatever, and large RV parks that you can buy and sell RVs on the highway also have these large flags.
Someone's got to do it. Right. There's a market for it somewhere.
They love America.
I'm glad someone's getting rich.
A lot.
God.
It's big.
So, when he gets there, he meets his team, JD, and they are as follows. Nathan Fillion, a javelin thrower that barely missed the Japanese Olympics this year. Pete Davidson, woman, in parentheses, orange, and Weasel. And from the original movie, we also have Agent Dude and Captain Boomerang. And then they go, Agent Dude for the rest of the synopsis.
Works,
Thank you. Great. Agent Dude works. They huddle into this helicopter, and then all of a sudden, your girl, Margot Robbie, joins the rest of the team. She would have been there for the slow-mo walk shot, but turns out she needed to take a massive fat poop.
Yeah, she wanted to let everyone know. This was fun. I don't know about you. When I saw the trailer, it's very clear people were going to die. When they all walked in front of the American flag, I'm like, I don't think anyone in that image is going to live. And I nailed it. I don't think anyone in that image. What? That's not true. Weasel.
I guess that's true.
Weasel is alive.
Alive and well. Spoilers.
Yeah. Also, Pete Davidson, I don't think he does it for me, man. I think he's funny at times. When he was casted, I was like, they must have like a part that's gonna that feels so Pete Davidson. No,
anyone could have done it.
This felt like Pete Davidson doing I don't know, Black Knight or what was his name? I don't know, something. I have no idea what his name was. It's something. They're C-D list guys on purpose, but Pete Davidson doesn't really do it for me. Yeah. And in this movie, I was very underwhelmed. I didn't think any of his stuff was that funny.
No,
even the werewolf, bit, all that, none of it. No, like this part to me was like I was like so excited and ready to go that like I like chuckled at a couple things because I was ready to go, but kind of everything in that helicopter carrier thing didn't really, it didn't not work. It just wasn't overly funny to me.
Agreed. No, yeah, and I thought it was going to be a bigger scene, but it just wasn't. And then,
but it also leads into one of the best openings to a movie here.
Yeah. Oh my God. Here we are. We're at the island. Turns out we are going to somewhere off the coast of Florida to do this mission, which is great. A little Caribbean adventure here. And so they open up the hangar doors to let everyone, jump out over and swim onto the island. Turns out, JD, weasels can't swim.
No, he cannot. And when it's also James Gunn with the music, I hope you guys were ready for this because this is just going to be us, loving James Gunn for an hour. But his music choice, awesome. And the you kind of got the dun, 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 like you're all right, getting ready for a mission. Music dies and belly flop. Oh my God. This was the first time in the movie I literally by myself. It takes a lot for me to laugh by myself. That probably says something about me if you really want to get deep here. No, I'm just kidding. But I literally sat there and I busted out laughing like the first time by myself. Even funnier when I watched with a friend, just flailing around. You're getting ready for this badass thing. And so also that's Sean Gunn, correct?
Yeah, same guy from Guardians and
James Gunn always has his brother in it. But yeah, he did the motion cap and just the way he walks and everything, it was funny. But yeah, the Weasel not being able to swim, the dead silence of everyone kind of looking at each other, like did anybody check to see if Weasel could swim? That whole bit, it just hit. I laughed so hard, and then when he was actually pronounced dead, I laughed even harder. And I was like, that was the first moment too, where I'm like, when he died, he died. When Weasel died, quote unquote died, it was the first moment where I'm like, I think I was right, and I think everybody but Harley Quinn is going to die here. And I was pretty close. I thought Rick Flag even might bite the dust because he was of the old Suicide Squad, same as Boomer, Boomerang guy. Yeah.
No, yeah. So you are 100% right. How that whole thing basically cascades is once he is pronounced, once the Weasel is pronounced dead, all of a sudden, Pete Davidson decides to walk up and announce his presence to the rest of the camp, alerting everyone of his own and their presence. And
how did he contact these?
They made it seem like he was like a rat or something, but it was really unclear as to
I don't
how.
need to know why.
Doesn't
I really
matter.
know. It was that's more of like a funny like what, but I didn't need to know.
Head gets blown off, gunfire everywhere, chaos reigns. Harley just all of a sudden brings out her RPG and just starts blasting it.
She's ready to go. She's like, okay.
She's ready to go. Yeah, 100%. Basically, this takes out the vast majority of the rest of the team. That helicopter being brought down knocks down
this whole scene was like that. This was another part of this movie. The action was so much better than I guess I thought it was going to be. It was like hyper violent and funny, like mixed in with the action, but the action itself was awesome. This whole scene looked incredible.
Yep.
I thought the action was fun, and the way everyone died was kind of creative and fun. It was very. I really liked this. As an opening goes, pretty awesome, and it set the tone. We're gonna have fun. This is gonna be a fun movie.
Yeah. So
if you liked this movie's for you. Like if you're like 15 minutes in, you're like, ugh, so far it's no good, and it's like, you're probably not gonna like this then because this is what this movie is.
This is the tone. But helicopter comes down. Boomer dies. Everyone basically dies. Michael Rooker gets scared, tries to swim away. Viola Davis blows his brains out for being what did he say? Desertion, I guess.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah. I like that they showed off how that worked, and that he's usually this tough badass that we saw in Guardians. He was what's his face with the arrow? Yondu. We've seen him in all these badass roles, and he's James Gunn's guy. He was Yondu, so I thought he might be in it for a while. And he's not. He's kind of a coward, so that was kind of fun to see that tough guy act do that. But what else was I going to add? It's also clear that obviously the first Suicide Squad is canon, but like they don't talk about it. It was very clear that that Flag and basically the idea of the last one, we're still doing it. Harley and Boomer knew each other. I like that kind of back and forth. That them just basically talking was them winking, be like, that's canon, but like we're past it. We're past it. So I thought that was kind of an interesting way I thought it was like noting that the other one existed just the perfect amount by basically like it exists. They know each other. Flag has been doing this for a while, and forget everything you know. Here we go.
Yeah. So, now, major cliff notes here after the battle. The report here we got Agent Dude runs into the forest and gets kidnapped by we don't know yet, and then Harley.
Bad guys.
Yeah,
for sure. Bad guys.
Good bad guys. Bad good guys.
Bad guys.
Good bad.
No, they're for sure going to be the bad guys.
Good. Got it. Great.
That's what I thought, Kevin. I thought.
We have Harley was caught by bad guys. And third, most importantly, nothing else matters. That entire first 20-minute scene, nothing else matters.
Well, Harley, I actually think it might be when they come back, she gets captured. But she also, a really funny scene, just to note, was the javelin, giving the javelin. All that with the not knowing what for, slapping him, this and that. That was funny. And just her having the javelin through the entire movie was hilarious to me. It was. The javelin bit was amazing. Her trying to figure out what the purpose was for this javelin. Very funny.
Back out to Waller's office. Waller goes over the mic saying, "How's Team 2 holding up?" Pans on the computer screen. Other side of the beach, JD. We're going about a mile south. we have Idris Elba, John Cena, Punk Rock Girl, Schizo from Dark Knight, and Shark King all approaching from the beach with fire and bullets raining from the north.
And this is when you go, oh, this is the Suicide Squad we're going to follow for the whole movie.
Title shot. Great title shot. Followed quickly by a really gross transition shot 3 days earlier, written on soap scum on a toilet. It turns out Idris Elba is doing his fair share, trying to rehabilitate himself in the local penitentiary, doing chores around, making sure he's the best man he can be. But all of a sudden...
He's one of those good inmates.
That's right. He wants to make a difference in the community.
So exactly. Look, I did some bad stuff, but I'm not like a monster. Like
exactly.
I care about where I live,
Exactly. Good guy, trained from birth to be a killer. He's in there because he shot Superman with a kryptonite bullet. So he's no man to be trifled with. Yes. It turns out Waller also wants him on her Suicide Squad, and he doesn't want to, JD. He doesn't want to join the SS, as the kids are saying.
They say, who does?
Yeah, right.
That's not a title. Yeah, that's when they came up with Suicide Squad. I wonder who the first guy to say, hey, we should shorten that. And everyone just kind of looks at him and go, oh, wait, no, never mind.
No.
yeah, you can't make T-shirts on that. Got to type everything out on the old Suicide Squad.
But yeah, a little bit of redemption for Idris Elba here. He also has a daughter, JD. Although because she's been so distant in her life, she has turned to a life of crime. She is a petty thief. And she wants a little bit of help from him. Apparently, JD, Waller can make this all go away if and only if the guy from Dark Tower and or Thor joins the Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah, old Idris. Yeah.
Old Idris.
Which is weird. I just want to say...
weird plot.
Yeah. I just want to say Idris Elba, awesome. But him kind of filling, it's hard to not draw comparisons, like the obviously different characters, but kind of the same as Deadshot and Will Smith in the other movie. And then having the motivation be the daughter, I was kind of like, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I wish it was a little different. But then you get there, and we'll talk about it in a second.
It's not the main part. They just need to get the mission started. That's the whole
exactly.
Point of the
movie. And it was different enough. It was different enough. But I'm not going to lie. I was like, I don't know if I want it to be the daughter thing again, but it also it fits. It's good. It's good. It's still good.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll let it go. It's time to meet this team, JD, as Waller walks him through the prison. We are now met. Before he meets his own team, he does see Weasel licking the glass pane of a cell door, which was pretty good.
I think that's at the end.
Is that all? I just grouped that all together here. Okay, whatever. We first meet John Cena, recruited for his unique abilities, which is a terrible backstory and incredible accuracy.
It's just the same backstory.
So good.
Oh my god, it was so good. And then it mattered.
Of course, you were referring to how are you more accurate? Smaller bullet. I'll put a hole through your bullet. Which, of course, we do know comes up a little bit later on in the movie.
John freaking Cena, man.
John Cena, again, put him in everything.
Funny in this movie.
So good.
So funny in this movie, and I didn't expect him to... I've seen him in a couple things. I've seen him in the Blockers movie or whatever. Like, he's funny in that. He's been funny in a couple other things. But I just I didn't think he was ready for like this kind of role with, obviously he can do the action. I'm not a Fast and the Furious guy. I know he was in those, not for me. But just nails the over, like what he's trying to do, just nails it. And now that we're into the spoiler too, can't wait. The show we were talking about earlier, Peacemaker is going to have his own show on HBO that's written by James Gunn, and he's going to nail that in like a TV show atmosphere where you see him week to week and it's funny. I'm excited for more John Cena, and I didn't know if I would have been. I thought he could have been a bit much, like going into it. I thought there's a chance he doesn't always hit, and I think he hits like 90% of the time in this movie.
And such a good pairing with Idris Elba, I would also add.
Yep.
They bounce each other so well.
The team in general does. It's just really good dynamics.
Very cool. So yeah, to continue down the roster here, we have Punk Rock Girl. Turns out that she can control rats, and her secondary power, do you know what is, JD?
Sleeping.
Being a millennial, yes, which means she will be asleep for the beginning of every scene for the rest of the movie. So that's something else to look forward to.
It wasn't, you know, it was a funny bit. It was like, all right, it was one of those, like, it didn't make me laugh every time, but it was just like, all right, they're sticking to it. I like it. It's funny. They have to wake her up the one time when they're pulling up to get Harley. That's all funny.
So good. We then go in to see Schizo. Man, I can't read my own typing here. Schizo from Dark Knight. Polka Dot Man. He continues to be a mental head case, and his imagery of his mom throughout this entire movie is one of the best jokes in the entire thing.
So funny.
So dark.
Oh, it's so funny.
So twisted. It's so funny.
Because when he first says it, the line of like the
everywhere.
No, not even just that. He's like, I sometimes get sad about killing people, but then I think they're my mother, and that makes it easy. Yeah. That joke alone was like that. Oh my God.
So good.
I didn't expect to unpack it. And then you unpack it. And when they started doing it, I'm like, oh, like maybe you leave this one be there, James. Yes. Like it was a one-liner. And nope, that was wrong. James knows more than me. Shocker. This whole thing was funny. And the payoff at the end, oh my God.
Yep. And to top off this entire team, Sylvester Stallone is playing a man shark. He, that's all you need to know. It's a shark king, I guess, but he's, it's a shark with arms.
King Shark is like the comic character, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know King Shark, me and you both like this show, is in Harley Quinn, the animated show. Very kind of different in that show, but it's
one of the best things that
go watch that show. Yeah, go watch that show. That show's hilarious. But
awesome.
Yes, that kind of warmed me up to like I knew who the character was, even though I thought this portrayal way funnier. Even though the other one is funny, this freaking stole the. Every time he's on screen, King Shark, I laughed so hard. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone
just continues to be the gift that keeps on giving. Love that man.
You don't need a lot from Sylvester. Hey, come in and read, a half a page worth of dialogue and just say it's you. And we don't even have to make it really sound that much like you.
No.
We don't need a lot from you. He's never really had to say a lot.
He doesn't even have to say words. He can just...
Exactly.
You just, all right, yeah.
Yeah, no, this is... King Shark is basically Rocky by, like, movie 4.
After the 5th concussion.
Right, yeah. Yep.
Very cool. So they're on the island, JD. Yeah. And they need to find the agent guy who is in the jungle. That's their big thing. They thought they were going to go to do the whole mission that
definitely
they were going to do.
Taken by bad guys.
But they need to find agent guy. Yeah. Who is definitely 100% taken by bad guys. Right. Cut back to, Harley doing the, whole, you're the only one that can carry this javelin thing. That's a great scene, like you mentioned earlier. Cuts back. Again, this is probably the most jarring part of the entire thing because it has a couple quick cuts just for information. But cuts back to the guys, and they're walking through the jungle here, and there's talking. It's all good stuff. This is the whole I hate rats. Why'd you partner with me if you're just controlling rats thing? It has the first dialogue with Polka Dot Man. All good stuff here. This is great dialogue. They eventually make camp here. Sebastian.
We actually met Sebastian earlier, but
a little
Sebastian, man. I love Sebastian.
Great guy. But yeah, they decided to make camp when all of a sudden Polka Dot Man awakens Idris Elba here. He doesn't make a big deal of it, but he does see that in order to not kill himself, Polka Dot Man has to puke out these polka dots twice a day.
So funny.
So funny. It's really, really weird because up to that point, it looks like he just has this incredible food allergy or a rash or something.
Cool.
It does look really cool.
When he opens his mouth, it's like glowing blue. Like the effect of it all, and then when he's puking, you just see the kind of the glow. Yeah, and you can kind of hear like the acid of it.
Yeah,
it just no other world would Polka Dot Man even be a kind of a fun person to see on screen, but here he is, and it was hilarious. This is where he really utilized the. Like the D-level characters. Like he almost like made it a part of the fun as like the charm of how stupid these characters are.
Exactly. He leans into who they are
and their powers.
Forcing them to be cool. It's who they are.
But the powers are also like kind of sweet.
Yeah. No
like
kidding.
in a weird way. Like the rat thing and all that. Like when they started like going with it, I'm like, oh, this is so weird. But then it's like kind of useful in a lot of situations.
Yeah, no kidding. Man, you have that wand in New York City. You run that place.
Yeah.
No kidding.
There are also lots of rats everywhere.
Yeah.
Makes me scared. I hope that's not actually realistic. Makes me think like in seconds, 1 million rats could be right here. Hope that's not true. But
they're behind you, JD. Watch out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hold on. Yeah. So here we are. Shark. King Shark, that's his name. King Shark. Sylvester Stallone tries to eat the millennial, and because she's a millennial, JD, she's asleep and doesn't wake up the entire time until Shark gets attacked by the other two guys trying to save her. And this scene was weird to me. I feel like it's the weirdest scene in the entire thing. Who sleeps through that? Doesn't matter.
That's kind of the joke, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It was. See, I actually thought she was going to get eaten. I thought we were going to continue through to like where everyone's just going to die thing, and we really didn't. But I thought she was going to get eaten, and then when she wasn't, they have the whole scene with the shaking of the hand, and they held on to like the camera shot of her shaking King Shark's hand about a couple seconds too long, to where I really thought it was going to be like
just rip.
Like yeah. I really thought that's where we were going with that, but she makes it.
Great. Yep. And turns out they make it through the rest of the night, I guess, without a problem, because in the morning, Viola Davis messages them, hey, we know where Agent Guy is. Great. Awesome. Go find him. And so they do, JD. And this, I think, might be my favorite scene.
It is my favorent scene.
Yeah.
The choreography of the action, how
so good.
Funny it is, the pettiness, the lines, and then obviously the payoff at the end. But I'll let you try to dive into it here.
Yeah. Oh, you nailed it. It's basically a kill competition, the likes of which haven't been seen since Legolas and Gimli won at Pelennor Fields. So
That's
good.
My favorite with the tomahawk.
Oh yeah, no, the tomahawk on
walking
the
up with the tomahawk, it just doesn't even flinch, and it's just so many fun ways to kill a guy with the fan, falling, electrocuting. Obviously,
no lethal shot doesn't count. I win.
But it all looks so good. Like that's the thing is, it's like it's not even like it's to be kind of funny, but like what a sweet action scene. Yeah, honestly, like choreography, like that's better than 80% of like comic book like fight scenes, and it was like half silly, like
100%.
Very good,
very well done. So yeah, that happens. Turns out everyone at the camp is a good guy, a good guy, not a good bad guy or a bad good guy.
That
a good
reveal.
Guy. And
it's the freedom fighters. They literally took out the third world countries' freedom fighters against the dictator. They just accidentally murdered them all.
Yeah.
And why didn't my men alert me? Man, we
didn't see anyone.
But I pictured them as my mom and made them killed them or whatever. Like just like that whole with King Shark on the wrong side, the whole thing. That like perfectly. Like I don't know if there would have been a tweak I could have made to that.
No,
like, everyone's right where they should be. Everyone said like, oh my god, so funny. And the fact that like just the idea of like they just murdered the freedom fighters is the most Suicide Squad group of mess up bad guys trying to do the right thing you could have.
So good. So from there we meet the big bad. Turns out it's a big goddamn starfish from the 60s.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's a space starfish.
Space starfish who has a hive mind and basically just gets bigger as it controls more guys. And so that's a weird little fun gimmick. And it's just been underground and under new management. They're kind of deciding what to do with it. The president wants to have it as like a nuclear option. And then the secondary bad guy from Quantum of Solace wants to make it like an active nuke and just take over the Western world. So that's exciting. And so they have that little banter, and then the scientist is like, I'm on the team too. And they kiss and we move on. So
all that's just the bad guy stuff in general in this movie is just exposition dump to get to the third act. the entire time I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm processing the information,
Mhm.
and let me see what John Cena's doing.
Exactly.
Pretty much all I'm thinking during this, especially the second time. When I watched it the second time, I knew the story. So
Mhm.
I was kind of like, all right, this is the only time in this movie it kind of feels like it drags is I think just the bad guy stuff. Because they're not really funny or cool. They're not even really cool. Starfish, I think, is cool, but the people, they don't really do it for me.
Yeah. And so now we are cut back to Harley. Turns out she is in a goddamn hole, like a World War II survivor, which is a not great place to be in. She gets dropped dressed, JD, and much like Kate, what's just her name in Pirates of the Caribbean? She's forced to wear it.
Oh, yeah. Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley, yeah.
The only thing I have about this, too, it's just a little, nitpick here. It's like, she is so dirty and she is so clean. And it's like, wouldn't you, bathe her before you throw her the dress? It's like, there's no way she just, put on that dress and then they, just make-upped her up. Like, she was, they made it a point. She was, dripping with, stuff.
She had a massive poop that morning.
Yeah, she was gross. She was her skin. It was everything was muddy. So yeah, I was like, where did she change? What was the dynamics there? But
yeah,
I guess maybe I'm the only one wondering that. How Margot Robbie changed. Probably the only one in America that really.
Probably the only one in America because God fucking damn it, put that woman in front of a mirror.
She's awesome.
She
nails Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
That's such a fun character because of her. And it's obviously part of it is she's supposed to be the hot, whatever sex symbol, this and that of but she does it in such a her character itself is hilarious. And that's not even really what you care about. It's the fact that she's that freaking funny. I love Harley Quinn in this. Yep. Margot Robbie, what an excellent. I thought she was great in Birds of Prey, and they just kind of picked up where they left off there.
Yep. Birds of Prey, oddly, really underrated movie for DC.
I like that movie.
I love that movie.
I really like that movie. And we'll get around to doing the DC stuff. But, I think Margot Robbie, they slowly, every movie they nail her more, and I think she was really, really good in this.
Yeah, definitely. Great. So it turns out that she is being forced to go see the president, and he has an indecent proposal for her, JD. He wants to marry her, which is
what?
I know, all of a sudden weird, crazy, and he brings her. Oh yeah, he has a bird interest. JD, you hear this word just keeps cycling over and over.
But this is James Gunn showing off the birds, right? He's not bad.
Until my concluding point in the aviary war of this movie, by the way, which we also skipped the second act of aggression actually from the birds when Michael Rooker's head is being picked at. From the end.
Oh, yep. That was funny. Same breed of bird. That was funny.
Same breed of bird. It's just a constant. Oh, God. James Gunn. What a freaking genius. Anyway, yeah. So, indecent proposal. Hey, marry me. You don't like the American government. Mwah. And then, JD, the Fertels start playing, and they bang.
They do. And this is a good superhero, the aggressive superhero sex scene, but it's got nothing on the one in The Boys show.
Oh, the Homelander sex scene is just
that's the perfect superhero one. But no, this is funny. I like the them smashing, and it makes it because obviously it's no one's it'd like to have an actual sex scene is kind of in a movie like this, but. No, you get the point. It's funny. It's how Harley Quinn would, go about it. I like how she answers just the "you're so freaking hot" thing, and all this was this is an interesting place for this movie to be going right up until what happens.
Yeah. So, turns out Harley Quinn must have either been dating myself or Joker because her string of ex-boyfriends has led her to not trust any guy ever. And she immediately kills the president, claiming that if she sees any warning signs that she needs to put an end to things via
this
murder.
is funny. This whole scene to me, I was like, I don't know, like this is an interesting like way to go about this. But how they wrapped it up and that made it basically like, oh no, like it didn't, like none of that actually like meant anything.
Yeah.
With her killing it, and it kind of does pick up right where they left off of Birds of Prey. Obviously, the spoiler warning's up for Birds of Prey. Obviously, that movie's the breakup between her and Joker, and then her taste in men and all that. But I love I would told myself if I saw red flags, I would do the sensible thing and murder them. That's so just
it's
the
so good.
He
says it so matter of factly,
and then like you just see the crazy of Harley, and then you would say, why couldn't you let me go? Why did you have to kill me? Why couldn't you just break up with me? And I would say, stop shouting at me, like that. Just like her talking for it, just the conversation. It reminds you of like she's actually insane.
She's actually insane.
The visuals of what it's like to be in her mind here coming up.
I love it. I love this freaking movie. Anyway,
it's very good.
Great. Good guys need to now kidnap the lead scientist guy to take them into Project Starfish. And they have devised that the only and best way to do that is go to this nightclub that he usually goes to after a hard day's work of torturing people that have a
we also met
starfish attached to them. Not quite. We're about to go. We're about to meet Milton.
No, you said they went to the nightclub.
No, they came with a plan to go to the nightclub. It cuts back to them.
Gotcha. I thought you said they went to the nightclub.
I would never miss out on my favorite character from this movie, JD. Come on now. Turns out that their ride to the club and eventually to Jotunheim is going to be the rebel leader's inside man, Milton, who had one of the best scenes in this entire thing.
Later
on. Even his intro seems really good when they first, break him out or whatever.
Like afterwards when they're putting on the costumes and King Shark being, I wear a costume. It's like, no, what? No one's going to know. Fake mustache. And he doesn't do the thing yet, but he says it, and then he's just behind Aegis Elba, and he puts it up. He goes, I can still tell it's you, or whatever he says.
Worst fake mustache ever.
It's very good. All that.
Fuck!
Yeah. Yes. Just the aggressive F-bomb is also very funny. A little anger from the old big shark.
Yes. Yeah. And we'll see a little bit more of that later on. But they do get to the club. Yay. Everyone's there. Milton and King Shark stay behind for obvious reasons. Milton's the
King Shark, where they're all having their drinks and they just cut to King Shark, and it's like that thing where like if you ever at a college campus and like you can hear like the party like 6 doors down, just like bumping because it's that loud. It's like you could just hear the vibrations, and he's just like bouncing up and down. So good. I love that.
Oh, so good. They have a couple drinks. They have a good time. The polka dot man dances with about 8 of his moms, which is exciting.
Funny. Another mom shot. We're going to continue to get that. Funny.
Very good. And this is a hard cut right now to the general taking over of the regime. You won't have any resistance or whatever. And which brings us to the final chapter, I believe, of The War on Birds from James Gunn, where he lights an entire bird exhibit on fire just to prove a point. And you get to hear all little tiny tweets of horror the entire time that they're burning alive, which is a great scene.
Whatever seagull attacked James Gunn as a child, he is getting his vengeance on right now.
There's so much bird hate in this entire whatever. Okay, great.
No birds were harmed in this movie. Yes, they were. We actually did our own stunts.
I was gonna say it wasn't even for the movie. He just had a BB gun just going the entire.
I didn't realize they were filming that, but then we had it. We were going to use it. Yeah.
They found the man that they're looking for, and he looks weird, but we've seen him before, so I just didn't bring it up yet. And they're trying to get him out of the bar, but they also have the National Guard or military guys or whatever looking for just Americans on the beach. That's apparently the only description that they got.
They are, I guess. Americans, you could have just said like the 4 white people in there.
4 white people?
Yeah.
One of them has a British accent.
Well, I don't think they knew it. They didn't know anything.
I guess not, but
Well,
Like,
he announces himself. Like, I guess they didn't catch him, but like to me, you walk in there and you're like John. You look at John Cena and be like, "I found one." Like,
Yeah.
he sticks. He's the one who sticks out like a sore thumb.
the only people speaking English. How
I
about
do
we
like.
start with that?
I do like though that they give themselves up in that way. So it's not.
Great plan. This is
Mm-hmm.
one of the best improv moments in, I would say, DC. When plans fall apart in DC, they usually just keep going south. But this is they
Right.
adjust to it very well. And the two kids take it out back, and the three buff guys.
I'm sensing you're not the alpha of this group.
So good, so good. Meet us in a half an hour. We're gonna go get some information and beat up these guys and break out of a escort, which is great. And they do that. So it turns out Harley's alive, and that does that piques Agent Guy's interest. Ooh, very exciting. That should be the next thing we do.
I do like that throughout this movie. Obviously, you're not going to compare it to the first one, but like the idea of like in the first one, obviously, like they all hate Flag. I like that there's like a mutual respect, and when they're on the mission, like it doesn't seem like they hate Flag, and it's not like Idris Elba is a hard ass for hard ass sake.
No,
He's a hard ass, but he's also like there are moments where he's humanized. He's like, look, like yes, I'm a hard ass because I need to be in certain moments, but like I'm not just going to be one for the sake of like when he has the moment with Ratcatcher 2 and talk about their dads. It's like he's a person, you know what I mean? Like
definitely.
Sometimes you get these guys in these movies that are like hard asses to the point of like they can never feel joy ever. Like it's just
like
I like the humanization of Idris Elba's character. I thought they nailed that part.
Yes, 100% agreed. Upon reflection, I feel like the only reason that they ever did get kidnapped was just to find out that Harley Quinn is alive. But that's okay. Doesn't matter.
It is one of the few like dumb exposition things where it's like, oh, they're gonna do to you what they're doing to Harley Quinn. It's like, what, really? Like, why did you say that? Like, in what world would you say that? This whole thing, even though the little speech is good with the, the death grip and the one, like all that's like, I like the little speech and all that, but this whole them getting captured and them just giving up that Harley Quinn, they have Harley, all this is the only thing that felt like plot divisive for plot divisive sake. And like, okay, we got captured for 20 seconds, which was, I guess, the plan. But
I was going to say, and it is redeeming because the whole thing only lasts like 2 minutes.
Right.
They're back at it really quick.
This was one of the few parts where I was just like, I don't know if this works, but it also like connects like Act 2 to Act 3 enough for me that I'm like, I'm glad it's there because I like where it's going. And if this was kind of the lame plot device they needed to do it, so be it.
Yep.
There's not a lot of them, and there's always some in these kind of movies.
Oh, there has to be. Got to go from A to B eventually. But yeah, that is how they got into the third act of this very, very beautiful James Gunn movie. Title card, JD, Operation Jotunheim.
I like those throughout too. I thought those were
the title cards were great in this.
The Warner Brothers Pictures Presents out of
the
what's
blood.
his face's blood of an exploded head was hilarious. I really like that.
Yeah.
Kind of set the tone too. But
so Operation Jotunheim. No, I have another idea. Wipe Operation, and then noxious gas comes up, spelling out Harley. We're gonna go try to break Harley out of whatever thing she is in right now. Cut over to Harley being tortured. Although we saw evidence of Joker did this much better than anyone else that she's probably going to run into. She's had worse Wednesdays, than just getting zapped a little bit.
I also like that the song she's singing is the song when she breaks out. That was good because the whole thing of like it being in Harley's head,
so good,
is good because it's like, oh, that's the song she's singing. It's like
the flowers,
that music and the flowers in the background. Like this is how she views killing people. It's fun. It's cute. It's whatever. It's like, oh, it's so good for a psychopath. Like
yes, yeah, and she does just that. Quantum of Solace General here leaves. Henchman starts texting random emojis to whoever.
And a little force there. That wasn't
weird.
Funny to me.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. She snaps his neck, gets the key, and with incredible acrobatics and damn those legs, she's able to free herself, get a weapon, and shoot about 100 people.
This fight, like this whole thing, the choreograph. It's like I liked Birds of Prey, but I think back to like when she goes into the police precinct or whatever.
Yeah.
All that was very like, oh, it looks like they're dancing. Like it looks like everything's very choreographed to where it's like, you go here, you go here. I hit you with a bat, you get knocked out. Like,
yeah,
it was like good, but not like great. And then it's like, oh, this is how you do action choreography. It was so seamless. She was so good at it. When she takes the dress and gets the guy's knife and whips it around his own neck to slit his throat. One of the coolest things I've seen in a like action movie in a long time. This whole scene, 10 out of 10 action scene. One of my favorite. This and the other action scene in the camp. These are probably like my two favorite scenes in the movie.
Yeah. No, yeah. 100% agreed. And then she walks out the front door. No need for desperate escape or whatever.
Hails a
it's
cab.
open. Yeah, hails a cab, brings the spear, make sure she grabs that before she leaves.
The javelin.
And then she sees the gang trying to break her out. Turns out they don't need to. They meet up, and then they go to Jotunheim, and now we have the climax of the whole movie here. Basically, we can just...
All that stuff we saw in a trailer was still great.
Yeah.
Like, I can go back inside, and you can still do it. That's the one thing I did have about this movie. I love the trailers because they get me excited. Did ruin some really good jokes. Like, the whole briefing with a hand, like all that, like... Very funny. The friend I saw it with did not watch trailers on purpose, and he was dying with the starfish. So that's slang for butthole. Does that have anything to do with each other? Like all those lines were hilarious, but like I've already laughed at that. Like I had seen them. Same with that scene. A little too much, maybe shown in the trailer, but it was a great trailer. But
it's not Marvel bad for trailers, but it did ruin a couple things.
No, Marvel shows a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, just briefly, a lot happens here, I guess, but not a lot. We can just go through it really quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, they get there, they find out, that the whole starfish thing is basically mind control. Quickly here, they're told that the U.S. is a big part of it. Basically they were the first ones to find the thing, and they've been experimenting it on foreign soil just to have their hands clean of the whole situation.
Yeah, kind of the plot twist of this, right? Like we knew that they were a part of it. I liked it. I liked the switch of John Cena here.
Yes, yeah.
I thought that was all. I know I talked to someone didn't like that. I talked to, but I really liked all that.
Fine.
Obviously, like this drive is like all right. This is the football now. Everyone go get this. That kind of. It's one of those, but hey, I'm here for it. Yeah, I like John Cena's twist. I like that he had his own mission all along. Also, how did we miss? It just popped in my brain the John Cena line. I love peace so much. I don't care how many men, women, and children I have to kill.
Yeah,
line of the movie. Line of the movie. But this is like to that point though. Like he thinks he's doing the right thing. He has his own mission. It kind of shows how effed up Waller is. Just like giving out like all these different objectives of you need to know what you need to know. She's justifying it by doing it for America. He's justifying it for doing it for peace. They're probably both a little effed up. And I do like when Idris Elba calls him on that, by the way, is like you just use liberty as an excuse to murder, which is good. But I like this turn.
Great.
It was a twist because it's like, it wasn't like a twist, but it was solid. And I just, I thought it was like, gave this third act the kind of like turn on each other that it needed. Yeah, push. That's a good way to put it. Gave it the push it needed to be a really good third act.
Definitely. Drastically and totally different from the rest of the movie. Totally okay with that.
Very much
because this is, like I said, the climax of the entire thing. Yada, yada, yada. We've already talked about this. U.S. was behind the whole
bombs.
thing.
Yeah.
They're setting bombs. I guess we should point out that they split up into two teams. The bottom team is the agent guy, John Cena, and Ratcatcher. And
John Cena wasn't supposed to be, too. So that was also
great. Yeah.
Like, why are you here? I told you I didn't trust him. It's like, still, like, why are you here? It's because he had his own thing.
Great.
I love King Shark going to the water thing and the music that's playing. It's just so it's like da da da, and he's just like he hops with dumb stupid friends, and then that's obviously the payoff being that like these cute little things that King Shark fell in love with in 30 seconds, trying to murder him.
So good. We did miss the plaster mold of Peacemaker that King Shark made. Great.
Peacemaker. It's actually very flattering, but we don't have to.
It looks nothing like me. So good.
And I love that
great.
they show it before it explodes too.
Yeah. So good. Great. So John Cena and Agent Guy get into a fight. Good fight scene. Very much in the Jason Bourne realm of things, as opposed to the.
Now, Kevin, I'm no doctor, but when you show a heart get sliced in half and all the blood pours out of it, that's dying. James Gunn was concerned that we needed a visual aid to really know what it's like for a heart to stop. Oh my God.
It's a weird cut.
So violent.
Cut.
It was a little weird. It was a little weird. It was like one of the few moments in this movie where it's like, we're trying a little hard there, but I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it.
It was fine. It was only like
we got the gist. I guess that was their point. I think it was also for the post credit of like.
I guess
it was very much like.
Back.
Well, yeah, it was very much like he is dead. We're showing you that he's dead. I guess John Cena is not, kind of thing.
Right.
Maybe. No.
Right. Yeah. So John Cena wins the first fight. Good for him. 1-0. And all that good stuff. And then Ratcatcher. That's right. Yeah. Ratcatcher grabs the hard drive, runs upstairs with it, and John Cena follows suit, trying to make sure that does not see the light of day. And then it does look like he has cornered her and he's about to execute her because he is thorough and wants to make sure that, like I said,
8 minutes earlier. I love that too. All the just the little time cuts are all great. Seeing
so good
happens, and it's all very
so good. He doesn't get to do that, or I guess I don't know if he can't, but he hasn't been able to do that in like the Guardians or anything.
No, I think those have to be a little more straightforward, maybe.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
He got full reign on this.
Yeah,
you went full James Gunn on it. So,
what's he gonna do? Make DC worse? Anyway, great. So, 8 minutes earlier, when they're setting up charges, they get themselves into a little bit of a gunfight in just the cubicle area of whatever office this is, because they do mad evil scientist experiments at the very, very bottom floor, but they sell insurance out of the top. Whatever, doesn't matter. And so insurgents come through the window and they start fighting Ratcatcher, whatever Idris Elba's character's name is, and Polka Dot Man, and all of our favorites, Milton. The one true hero of this show,
R.I.P. Milton,
who does unfortunately die a hero's death by taking a stray bullet right before they have a really awkward, but once you get it's a joke. It's like, are you
so funny? You talking about the Milton thing?
Yes, yeah. Sorry, Milton just died.
Who's Milton?
Milton was with us. Yes.
Yeah.
Where else was he going to be?
I don't know. What would he have been doing? Helping, and then they have that whole thing.
Milton.
Yeah, and then there's the. I love the face of like the. This is bad. So I'm going to say it. Who's Milton? So good. And then I think I would have noticed that there was a guy named Milton with us the whole time. Just like all the conversation.
Named Milton. So good.
Oh my gosh. And
Margot Robbie killing it.
He's been with us the whole time. And now he's dead. Just like all that. Just so good.
So good.
When did this obsession with Milton start? I've liked him the whole time, okay? And of course, he gets cut off by the baddies.
Yeah. And so, the second wave of guys come in, and on Milton's dead body is the charges that he dropped. And in order to what he assumes is save the day, Polka Dot Man, shoots his polka dots as he does, and Ash catches them all in a fireball that detonates the entire third floor of the building.
This visually was all very cool, by the way. The jump from building to building, all that. The cinematography on this in general. I know we skipped past too with the rain scene. All that was very cool. Obviously, it's all in the trailer. Good. King Shark, Shark just ripping people and eating people is all very fun.
Every scene that Sylvester Stallone is in is a good fucking scene in this movie.
Cinematography was really good in this movie.
Yeah. Yep. And they are now running away from their collapsing building. They get onto a steady enough platform on the other side of the stable side of the building. Unfortunately, Idris Elba lands on a platform that then collapses on itself about 6 or 8 times. Just
also cool
very cool scene. Yeah. And lands right next to we have John Cena shooting or attempting to shoot Ratcatcher in the act. He sees this, and they have a little standoff here, which is a callback to the original. I'm more accurate than you. How are you more accurate? I smaller bullets. I can shoot.
But he didn't have smaller.
But he didn't have smaller bullets this time, JD. Idris Elba's bullet is like a needle. It is so thin.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
So go through and break it to not like change direction too. Yeah,
very great.
Also, where obviously jumping ahead with the John Cena is alive, Peacemaker is alive. Mm-hmm. Did it not like rip him through the neck?
No, it's skimmed. It's skimmed.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
On my rewatch,
ripped him through the neck. I'm like, does he have superpowers? Like, what the hell? Like, how did that not?
Okay,
that makes more sense.
It cut in a vein, so he.
And if you were paying attention, like when they go towards the end where she's going to blow them all up, like John Cena is not say deceased.
No.
So, like, I guess you could have picked. I didn't pick up on that until afterwards.
Yeah.
But it did not say deceased, which was a cool little like you could have been ahead of that, thing.
Yeah. Great. And so well, let's just call John Cena dead for now. And so they basically get the hard drive safe. Idris Elba puts it in his whatever handcuff that he has, and then they get on the horn with Waller. Basically, yay, congrats! The information's safe, and the starfish is contained to that island, so you don't have any actual means or reason to stay there for the rest of the time. Congrats, your heroes go home, kind of thing. Mission accomplished, yay! So everyone starts walking toward the helicopter, and then Idris Elba has a change of heart.
Very good.
He doesn't even say anything for this.
Just turns around,
has that face, turns around, and starts heading the opposite direction.
I knew Sebastian sensed good in you.
Yeah.
All that great.
So good. The rest of the Suicide Squad follows suit. And just as things are escalating in the office, Waller's now turned her key, opened up the box, and her hand is hovering over the kill button. She is incapacitated by one of her coworkers.
I will say this was like I was talk about like moments in movie. This was like a chills. Like with the music go, like I didn't expect it. This moment kind of got me. And I was like, hell. I was like, this is a hell yeah. Because they genuinely like. It's not even like we're gonna save the day. Like just by attempting to do this, like they have a chip in our head. We are going to die. Yeah. Like it's literally just I refuse to just not do the right thing, even though like 1,000% it means I'm going to die. A great character moment. I like the order in which they go. I like that immediately Ratcatcher 2 goes, yay, like, yeah, we're doing this. Like I do the Sebastian Sense Good in You. I like that. We didn't talk about it enough, but Ratcatcher 2, I really didn't think I did not think I was going to like her, but I really, really did like her. Much more than I expected. She was great.
Agreed.
I don't know who the actress was. She was very good. Her dynamic with Idris Elba, very good. This whole moment slapped.
Absolutely. And yeah, I
great
like
score.
Oh, 100%.
Great score.
Yeah. So, great. Waller is incapacitated. Oh, her staff are now giving strategic support to the gang as they start heading toward the big old starfish.
I will say something too. I know we're running a little long, so I won't go long here, but the staff might have been my least favorite part.
Yeah, I cut it out of my entire synopsis. Yeah,
I thought the staff was one of the few times it felt overdone. The little dance thing in the beginning, the big guy with there's a kaiju up and all that. Just their whole thing didn't really work for me. Like the
best joke that they had was having the Deadpool at the very beginning when people were winning money and stuff. But that was it.
Yep.
That was it.
Even the like Dale, you goddamn it, you idiot dipshit or whatever. Like even that, like it was all just very forced. And come to find out, they are going to be in the Peacemaker show, which
probably a good thing with the amount of lines that they had.
They felt like TV. Like that felt like TV. So I guess that makes sense. But they are going to be in the show. So I don't know how I feel about that, but. Overall, I love this movie. That was one of the things. Like, I don't think you nailed that.
Yep.
But we'll get through here.
Great. And like you did say, we are running a little long here, so I'll just go quick. Your standard monster fight, Shark King is biting him a little bit.
Great leadership moments.
Polka Dot Man for one last time, one last joke, envisions a huge 20-story version of his mom.
You know who that is, right?
So good. It's your mom. So good.
I'm going to turn you into a leader, and he gets the thing that
Great.
sparks everybody's thing.
So great. Shark King Nom Nom, that's your mom. He blows out an entire leg of the.
I'm a superhero.
I'm a motherfucking. Slack. Yep.
So funny.
So good.
Good ending for him.
Yeah. Polka Dot Man dies. Great. Harley is now on the roof, desperate for a way to contribute. She has the spear. She doesn't know what to do with it, and the opportunity presents itself where she can stab the
rats,
the thing in the eye.
The rat moment.
The rat moment.
I didn't expect that to hit too with the freaking music. I'm like, this is awesome. I didn't expect that to hit at all.
Oh my god, what a cool superpower! Turns out.
Also, talk about Dee Dee. Thank you for just doing that stupid small role as her dad. Like
two tiny little scenes, maybe an hour of your time.
And the whole thing about the rats being significant and kind of the uplifting music, I was like, that's cool. Heck yeah. It was a good moment. Cool. She got the tears in her eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. Most importantly, no egregious CGI on this. Everything looked good, I
like that Sebastian is front lines, leading him up there. My man Sebastian the rat. I was so worried he was going to die.
Oh yeah. No, that would have been awful. But it turns out that James Gunn only hates birds. And if you don't have wings, then you are safe. Great. So, Shark King, does biting, the I'm a motherfucking superhero. We covered that. Great. Awesome. And yeah, so the rats, basically just swarm. They take it over like a flood of water, coming through, and, the blood in the eye starts to, pop. The guy goes quiet, takes over the 2 or 3 buildings in his fall, and then basically that's Suicide Squad.
I also just love the line of it's such a it's in a movie like this, it's kind of like a deep theme, I guess, into like, just because we can mess with shit, should we? With the like when he's the general or whatever with the star in his face, and it's out the
Star General.
Yeah, when he was just and the starfish basically says, "I was happy to like just float and look at the stars." Like, I wasn't brought here; you brought me here.
Yeah, the most human person
tortured me, and then this is what I had to do to get out. Like, you guys are the assholes here. It's like when a freaking gorilla's in like a zoo and some kid jumps in it and like a Harambe situation. It's like the gorilla's like, I would have been happy in the freaking, in my jungle or whatever. So I really like that line.
That's because only bad people live in Cincinnati, JD.
That's true. It's part of Kentucky. We don't claim that as Ohio.
Gross.
Hopefully there's no Cincinnati people out there.
They hop back in. Oh, I'm so sorry. I missed a very important dialogue speech here of Idris Elba and Harley deciding what to do with the hard drive. Basically, they leverage it so that they all gain their freedom in exchange for the hard drive not being released.
I like it. It's good.
It's fine. It's good.
It's good. It's a good way to get them out of it, and it also like. I like that they're good guys, but they're not like they still are.
It's good bad guys versus bad good guys.
Right. If they would have went a whole 180 and been like, and we're going to go back to prison and release the thing. No, they're still looking out for themselves. They did a good thing. Right.
Yeah, it's fine. Great. The agent dude was my friend or whatever. And then Idris Elba replies back, he was mine too. I don't have many friends, ... And then Harley says, well, I can be your friend, Milton. It's not my name.
Not Milton.
It's not my name.
We literally had a conversation for 3 hours about how your name is Milton. Oh my God, the Milton thing. Little jokes like that just came back, man.
Yep. Great.
That's the James Gunn difference there. No, it was
little end. And then
Sebastian.
We end in back in the helicopter where it all began. Sebastian is now crawled onto Idris Elba's calf. And he is just given a little cuddle as Sebastian falls asleep. Title card, The Suicide Squad. Thank you, James Gunn. Do you want to go into the post-credit stuff or no?
Yeah, Weasel's alive. Hilarious. Just a funny little thing, the way he runs off. Hopefully we just get funny little Weasel stuff in the future. And then obviously John Cena's alive was the other big thing. We already talked about that, though.
It's going to be a TV show. Yeah. Great.
All right, so Kevin, in general in the show, we're going to rank like universes against each other, but this is obviously our first one, so congratulations, Suicide Squad. You are number one in the DC universe, and I don't know if that's going to get topped for quite some time. Even when we go back and do the other ones, this is probably my favorite DC movie.
Oh, really?
Probably.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, we can get into it.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But the way we're gonna, we're also gonna rank, different bad guys depending on the series. We might rank, different things unique to that series, which we will have that visually available.
So congrats to Star of the Conqueror.
Yeah.
Star of the Conqueror, is that his name?
Yeah, Star of the Conqueror, and I guess the generals maybe. Yeah, you guys are the number one bad guys. Now I don't know if that'll last that long because although they were like good for the movie, they weren't like overly compelling bad guys.
No, yeah,
a couple good scenes, but the human bad guys were I thought overall. But I think we both really like this movie. I think we should rank. So I thought a good ranking system, and the only reason I came up with this is just because it's like one I haven't seen a lot. You see that, letter scores and number scores. I was just gonna do a 1 out of 10. Which decimals are encouraged, and that's like a percentage kind of thing. Right. So basically it's like saying like 85 with that 8.5, stuff like that. But it's a little different because I know a lot of people just do them out of 100.
Sure.
I'll go first.
What's the scope? Is it like all movies or is it like DC movies?
I'm going like all movies.
Okay, all right. Yeah, just so we're on the same scale. I can do either.
Enjoyment for like what it is, I guess, being aware that it's like a DC movie. Like, I see, like,
go down, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know, and that maybe that's a good question that we might have to figure out. But the rating I was going to give this movie was an 8.8. That's my 8.8 out of 10. I thought it's one of the better comic book movies I think in a while. One of the best things DC's done. I think it is top tier comic book movie. I really do. I love this movie. It was made for me. The weirdness, the funniness. It nailed what I thought was funny. The fight scenes were awesome. The dialogue was awesome. Rewatchability. Like, is this like is this Endgame where it's like good in that way? No, it's good in like Thor Ragnarok way, I guess is like the way I'm putting it. I look at it as like the way I'm ranking it is how much did I just like enjoy it? And I really enjoyed this movie.
So 8
for me.
8 for you. I'm gonna go A flat. I feel like
A flat.
Yeah. The whole scope of DC movies. I think
which we could change this. This is our first episode, everyone. So
sure,
don't hold us to anything we're doing today. We're gonna perfect the formula a little.
Definitely. But yeah, this is, I think, over the first week of seeing every movie, this is probably my second favorite DC movie after Snyder Cut.
I really like Snyder Cut too.
That for me is probably closer to like an 8.8 movie. And so this is like one tier down from that. But
I guess I look
all
at
the
like
same reasons.
top tier Marvel, like cracking like the like 9s.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Agreed. Yeah.
And I think it's right under like the top like 5 Marvel movies, maybe.
I disagree, but that's okay.
That perfectly fine. But I just if that helps, kind of I'm putting it, because we have nothing to compare it against right now. This is the first one, so
yeah. But yeah, 8 flat for the same reasons. Loved everything about it. It's just not Marvel, and that Marvel adds so much just from having the universe around it. But
sure,
for what it is, a phenomenal movie. Again, if you haven't seen it, you're wasting your own time. Yeah. Please go see this movie.
Yes. And as we continue to do other rankings, it'll be more fun because we have stuff to pin it against. But we will get into that next week. And right now we don't have 100% of a set plan on what we're reviewing next.
Figure it out.
But we'll probably announce a series or something soon. So a little long today, but it was our first episode, so we had to introduce ourselves. Mm-hmm. You kind of get the format down. We'll tweak some stuff, but we had a ton of fun. I know I had fun, and I'm excited to kind of do this, and I hope people, find this in whatever way possible. And if they do. If not, me and Kevin will sit here and ramble to each other, whether people are listening or not. So,
yeah, we just need a mic on. This is the same conversations that happen
Come on out be a part of the DCU and be canon in the DCU. Sorry, I messed that up. Come be canon in the 2 DCU.
Ooh, I like that.
There you go. I like that. I was also thinking that of a live segment thought there. I was thinking that of we could decide like if movies like are on a scale of like, are they canon in our 2 DCU? Basically, like, do we want them exist in our little universe? Because there's some are that bad we don't. So that might be a fun little segment thing we got coming soon. But thank you so much. We hope you guys continue to listen, man. We're gonna continue to do it, whether you do or not. So, all right, peace out.